Okay guys, here we are out, I think it's July 31st is Sunday. I'm out with my friend Peter from the New York side of the valley. He's busy digging down there somewhere. Been hiking a lot today, hit a number of sites, probably 4 or 5 sites, basically gotten junk. Pete got a buckle, I think something else, I can't remember what he told me. I've basically been skunked all day. This is basically the last site on the road, and it's probably the best cellar hole on the road. The ironic thing is, it's the closest by the road, and we found a couple targets here already. I thought this would maybe be the one that's the most hit out of all of them. Pete found a toe tap, and I got a good like 70, 75 signal right down here. And I'll show you what I got. Already popped it out. You may see it right there. See that? It's an old horse rosette with a spiral rope pattern on it. And you can see the attachment right back there. I think that's what it is. Could be a pin. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's a rosette, just based off of the size. But I'll clean that up. He's got an attachment on the back, so it makes me think I may have something else, but I'm not sure. Anyway, that's a keeper for sure. Let's go find a few more things before we start heading back, guys. And here we are at our next find. It's been a slow day, guys. I haven't found too much. I did get another one of these, though. Seem to get one of these every single find. Tiny one. Little brass buckle. And the little tongue is falling off, but I'll be able to attach that back on there. It's got some iron corrosion on it, but hey, I'll take that. All right, let's see if we can find a few more things before we leave. All right, here we are at our next find. Now, this one's kind of weird. It rang up like a mid-tone, like 35 to 45. So like nickel, low end of the shotgun shell, but it's the size of a penny. Very weird, and it's totally toasted, and it's like oblong. Look at that. I mean, the Indian head penny signals ring up like 50, 55 for me on the F2. This is ringing up like around 40, which would sometimes indicate a button as well, but there's no shank or anything on that thing, so I don't know what that is. Could that be like a flattened shield nickel or something like that? I don't know. It's almost too small to be a nickel, though. It's penny-sized. That's really weird, and it's not a shotgun shell either. There's no back mark, and it's definitely thicker and heavier than what a cartridge end would be. So that's a mystery to me. I may try to clean that up, but it was so shallow, right in the road here. You can see there that I'm not sure what the heck that is. We'll see if we can get an ID on it, though. Probably some kind of old coin. Maybe an old Canadian penny. I have to go back and check my old Canadians and see what the tones they ring up. That could be what that is, but I'm not exactly sure. All right, let's find something else, guys. Hey, here we are down the road again at my next find. About 10 minutes later. I've been coming up from that way. It's about a 20-25 minute walk in here. There's actually a cellar hole I've been hitting for years that it's down the road here on the right. I'm just walking the old road. I've never really come up this far, so I finally got myself another decent find here. Let me zoom down here and see if I can remember where I dug it out. I popped it out here, and I looked at it just a minute ago. Right there. It's a coin, and it's ringing up mid-tone, so below a zinc penny. So it's either a Canadian penny or an Indian. And I think I see a wreath on the back of there, guys. That is hard to tell. I wish I had some water with me. It's been very dry up here in Vermont this summer. We had a little bit of rain a few nights ago. Yeah, I think that's an Indian. I'll have to do some toothbrushing and get a date for you, but heck, that's a good find. The tough thing with these Indians on the F2, they ring up like about a 45, and that's about exactly the same range as a shotgun shell. So man, you got to dig, a lot of shotgun shells to find your Indians, especially if you're just walking the road here. If you're near a cellar hole, it may be a little bit better. Yeah, I can see some of the head wreath coming out now. That's an Indian. So cool. Nice little 1 cent piece from 100 years ago, 120 years ago. We'll take that. Let's see if we can find something else. On to the next find. Well, here we are again in my next find, guys. I've been looking for this place for about 2 years. I'm still not sure if I've found it yet. It was on the 1853 map, and man, you can't tell if there's anything here or not. But there's a few just distant targets here and there inside this stone wall right here. And back down there was a little break in the stone wall, it looked really narrow, like it was hard for me to imagine a wagon getting through there, but there was a natural break which looked like an old driveway coming up to here, so maybe I'm coming in the back way. But let me pan down here and I'll show you what I got. I got about an 80 signal in the hole, pretty shallow, about 5 inches. This is what I'm here to find, guys. Bingo, baby. Now, being 5 inches like some of these coppers are, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get a date off of that. That looks like that could be a slick Rick. But it's definitely an old copper, and I'm going to have to let it dry out a little bit. It is humid as heck out here, and I hear thunder in the distance, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be out here. But let me clean it up, and I'll post a picture for you. Good find, though. Another large cent or an old English copper from a couple hundred years ago or 150 years ago. On to the next find, guys. Okay, guys, here we are at our next target. Mid-tone signal. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Could be a rosette. Could be a lantern top. I'm not exactly sure. It's round and it's got an ornate pattern and it's a little bit bent. It's got a hole in the middle. Isn't that weird? Not exactly sure what it is. It's an old relic for sure. Any ideas out there? I'll have to research that online. But hey, I'll take it. Maybe an old rosette with just a center pin attachment there that's gone. You know, small, a little bit on the smaller side. You know, 2 finger widths, about the size of a large cent. Okay, we'll take it. Let's go get some more stuff, guys. On to the next. Okay, here we are back for the towel wrap up in the garage. Posting some of the finds I showed you in the video here and some of the stuff I didn't get on video. I misplaced my iPhone for about a day or so, so I didn't get all of this on video, but let me go through it real quick. Toasty Indian head penny number like 10 or 12 for the year. I'm on a bad streak of not getting dates on the Indians. I did get a 1950, I believe, D wheat. 1950 or 56 there. 1956 D wheat, very common mintage. Remember, I dug this off the old road and I said it rang up low. I went and tested a Canadian penny, Indian, and wheat, and I was pretty sure that all those were not this. This rings up like a 37 on the F2, whereas a Canadian penny rings up more like a 60 to 70. Indian's about a 50, and then you get to the wheats and silvers, and obviously those are going to be even higher, 70 and even into the 80 or 90 for a silver dime. So I'm not sure exactly what this is. I mean, it could possibly be an old button, but it feels too much like a coin. I'm thinking this is an old, like, shield nickel, or maybe, I don't know, 3 cent piece maybe? I'm not sure. It's copper like a regular, I mean, it feels like an old copper coin, but I'm not sure. Too low to ring up as a wheat or a modern, even a clad penny. Those ring up like 60, so who knows what that is. An odd keeper, so some sort of mystery item, probably a coin from the past, maybe foreign. Found this in the old road. This is some sort of old chain. I'm not sure if it was worn around somebody's bracelet or not. It looks like an old chain to a watch fob, like it would attach to a watch fob and then to a pocket watch. So I'm guessing that's what that is. Got an old lantern piece. Find a ton of these. Little decorative pattern around the side. I may try to tweak that out a little bit if I can, but keeper. Old buckle. Found a couple of these. I'm not exactly sure what these are. I think these may have to be related to horse tack. Maybe little studs that went on the side of a bridle. Similar to a bridle rosette, but rang up high like brass. And I found 2 of those. Here's the other one. They're identical. I found them about 20 feet apart, so probably off the same saddle. That's what I'm guessing for those. Those of you guys that see this video, shout out if you know exactly what those are. I'm thinking horse tack. Some more horse tack stuff, part of an old leather harness with the rivets still attached. That ring up really nice, very deep. This guy here, I'm not sure. Is it an old rosette or part of an escutcheon piece? I'm not sure. It's older and just has 1 pin attachment there in the middle. So I'm either thinking this was part of an escutcheon piece that went to a piece of furniture, you know, on the side of a drawer or something, or it could be some sort of old basic bridal rosette. And then we get on to the farther left here, the last few finds. This is a carriage skein, a smashed one. I found one other one this year that was in a little bit better shape. These are round and went on the axles of carriages and acted to serve as a brake for the carriages. So it's carriage skein, found that in the road. And then the last 2 finds, for sure, were the best 2 on this series of hunts. This was my better bridal rosette, rose or rope spiral pattern on the back. The attachment's still there. Pretty light. The home date's from the 1840s or so, 1850s. So, but it was there all the way to about 1910. So you could make a guess, mid 1800s to early 20th century. But I mean, I don't care on the provenance of it. It's a very nice old rosette, and I'll keep that any day. And then my large cent. It's actually my second draped bust of the year. Really a slick rick, but you can barely make out her bust facing to the right there, and that wasn't a real complete seller for me. There was a draped bust, but I lined it up with my other draped bust I found this year, and it's absolutely exactly the same weight and size. So that's just a real slick draped bust. Never going to get a date on that. But hey, it's a colonial or just post-colonial copper, and I'll take that any day of the year. All right. Finds for the last few weeks. I hope you enjoyed the video here, and I'll be back soon with some more shots of some of the finds I've had in the recent weeks. Hopefully you get out there and hit the woods and the parks and find the goodies. It's out there waiting for you to find. Until next time, this is BTV Digger. Happy hunting.